Hello everyone and welcome back to Building with James. I know, it has been a while. Starship has kind of taken over the entire creative building series thing that I've been doing. Don't worry, Starship isn't cancelled. Still working on that project. I think I've got a bit of replay footage that I need to talk over at some point. And that's yet to be recorded, and I definitely have one that's already uploaded to YouTube, but because I reference something that's supposed to be happening January in the video, because the video is supposed to be releasing in January, it's set for releasing January 1st. The audio for that video was actually recorded before the channel decided that it was bored of being at less than 300 subs as well. Thank you everyone who subscribed to the channel in the past couple of weeks. So yeah, we're now in the run-up to Christmas. I thought, I haven't got a Christmas special. Let's make a Christmas tree. I don't make a Christmas tree. Reason? I am terrible at making organics. I mean, I'm starting this project off with a perfect circle, which is probably the worst idea I had, other than the whole let's build a tree idea. Don't worry, I will be building a tree. I'll be making it as natural as I possibly can. In terms of looks, I think it's alright. It's not amazing, but it's alright. I struggled with this. And this is a tiny project. I actually find Starship easier to work on than I did this project. And I actually had a friend ask me why is a huge Starship easier than a tiny little tree? I mean, tiny tree. It's huge. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely not to scale with anything else in the entire Minecraft universe. Sorry, you really can't see much at the moment because of the rain. I do disable the rain, and I have now I've now disabled the weather cycle on the world as well because I was getting annoyed by the rain. I wasn't actually thinking of what it would look like with the shaders on. I just thought, I'm bored of the rainy noise, I'm turning it off. And now the weather cycle's going off as well because it'll only start raining again in about 3 minutes. So, yep. We'll have no more rain from this point in the series. Some of you out there are probably going, yay, no rain, we hate the rain. The rain was probably the worst part of this series, other than the fact that you're having to listen to James jabbering on for about 10 minutes straight an episode. I would say I'm sorry, but I'm the one recording the audio here. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've recorded a Building with James episode. I've kind of fallen out of the swing of things, I guess. I actually started watching through the earlier Building with James episodes last night just to see if I could get an idea of what I could do for commentary, and then I realised that pretty much the entire commentary for the whole thing was basically just random. So let's see, shall I try describing what's going on screen, because I'm probably going to fail miserably. At the moment, I've completed the base, as in the place where the tree's gonna go. I'm now working on the base of the tree itself, trying to make it look natural. Unfortunately, I am terrible with framing, apparently, because, well, I'm working on the other side of the tree first. Sorry. It means you get to sort of see this side of the tree getting put together. I was trying to avoid using stupidly quick camera movements this time. And you know what? It makes a really nice change of pace from the stupidly quick movements that are happening on the Starship project. It doesn't look quick on the Starship project, but the camera at any time is probably moving around 3 or 4 blocks per second, which, yeah, that's relatively quick when you think about it. It's the only way that I can cross from one side of the sorted section to the other in the matter of a few seconds. Well, a few seconds. It's probably closer to a minute, a single crossing, at the speed that I normally move the camera. Here! And I actually timed this. I opened up the F3 menu while testing the camera footage. The camera's moving roughly a block every 2-3 seconds. Yeah, there's a slight difference in scale. I mean, the height of this thing's probably the height of, 2, maybe 3 decks on Starship? I don't know. I'm starting to put in the actual branches of the tree. Yay! I'm actually quite happy with the branches on this thing until I moved away and realised just how terrible it looked. And I thought, oh, okay, it just looks like a silly twig thing with silly twig things poking out of the side of it. Oh dear. How do I fix this? I do not know. You'll see how I fixed it later on. I say fixed. There we go, slight cut or fade into another shot. Here we go. I'm now starting to fix the issues with the tree. It looks awful. I'm sorry. I don't do natural looking builds for a reason. It's because I'm terrible at them. I'm also trying to think how long I actually spent in-game building this. I probably spent the equivalent time of 2 episodes of Starship. Don't get me wrong, I probably placed more blocks than I do in a Starship episode, but Starship is a lot of counting because it's building rings and that kind of thing. Here it's just, I'm placing blocks randomly. Well, semi-randomly. Obviously it's not perfectly random. I'm human, I kind of naturally try to make things look man-made, I guess? I don't know. How do you describe building? I don't get it. But yeah, I'm actively going against everything that I normally do when building. Normally I like to keep things sort of as generic shapes as possible, like square as possible, or in this case circular as possible. Because to me, that's what looks good. This was horrible to build. I kept pulling away just to take screenshots to send to people. I was like, "Oi, what do you think of this?" Because I'm not sure. I don't get it. To me, it looks alrightish, but I don't know. Oh, gosh. One thing I am happy with, though, the terraforming that I did around the tree. You will have seen it in the thumbnail of this video. Assuming I used the screenshot that I've taken. I probably will, because I generally only take 2 or 3 screenshots, and I've taken, like, 5 for this video. I know, I'm terrible. I give myself a few choices. So, that's a good point. I've never actually talked about how I thumbnail these things. Because, for the most part, yeah, it looks like I'm just taking the final frame of the video and using that for the thumbnail. In this instance, I'm not, because the final frame of this video isn't that good for thumbnailing. I'm actually editing the thumbnail a little bit more on this one as well. I'm planning on actually putting writing in that on this thumbnail. So, yeah. Crazy. I know. It's almost as if I'm starting to put effort into the videos that I'm making, because I feel like I kind of got to, because I got a slightly 5 times larger audience than what I had before. And how do people cope with channels sort of... I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to get over it. It's like a week in. Well, 5-6 days into the channel being bigger. And I'm now sat here thinking, how do people cope with the idea that they have millions of people watching their videos? I have, well, let's just say for the sake of argument, 1,500 people subscribe to the channel. There's channels that I watch, like Mumbo, Grian, that have millions of people subscribed. That must be terrifying. I mean, yeah, talk about anxiety and all that kind of thing. I'm not technically, I don't know, what's the technical term? I don't know. Here you can see just a sort of low effortness of this video coming into play. I'm still on take 1 for the audio thing. I probably will only do the 1 take, because that's what I generally do. This is, for those of you who haven't seen the Building with James series before, it is literally just Building with James on screen. And then the audio is just me rambling for, well, in this case, 10 minutes, because I thought, right, I'm setting myself a time limit for this episode. If I just sped it up 8 times, I think it would have been about 20 minutes because of how long I spent in the world. I mean, you can tell just with how quick the day-night cycle's going. It's a lot quicker than the previous Building with James episodes. I think this is playing back closer to speed to what I play back the Starship videos. Or at least that one Starship video where I spent 4 hours in world rather than my normal 2.5. I may have gotten a little carried away that night. Because I generally build these at night where I have to be quiet, you know. Middle of the night. As in, 1-2 o'clock in the morning is when I normally finish up. At least the building side of these things. I was actually up till 4, half 4 this morning, rendering all this footage. This is now next day. because I thought I'm not recording audio. So, yeah, hence the reason why I'm slightly more awake than I normally am in these videos. Anyway, we are now in the end screen of this video. I decided I'd do a video end screen kind of a thing rather than just a still image, because still images are boring. Here you can see the grass is growing. I should probably end this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. One part of the screen is a video recommended to you by YouTube. The other part of the screen is just my latest video, and in the center will be a button saying subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.